What's up, North County? Welcome to the Morning Brew. Friday morning, we are May 17th, and we have a very special episode today. We got Teresa Branch here.
Good morning.
Airflow Filter Services,
Good morning.
right?
Yeah.
And we have your dad.
My dad.
We have Gilbert Rojo again,
Yes.
Vietnam veteran, and just a recent participant of Honor Flight Central Coast.
Absolutely.
So we're going to hear all about that. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah.
Fun.
Right? you got it all.
And I mean, I haven't even really gotten to speak to him except, welcoming him home, the little bit we spoke, but I haven't heard most of the stories yet or anything. So this is good for me too. Yeah.
So Gilbert, the last time that you were on, we talked for a while, and I was super intrigued about like some of the stories, mainly about, I retold the story about the cigarettes on the hill, and how that identified what they were was the when you were in Vietnam,
Right.
you could tell, or they could tell where you guys were at,
Right.
and that's how some of the shells came in,
Yeah.
because they were pinpointing cigarettes, because
Right.
obviously everybody smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right, back
But
then.
it was just an interesting concept of battle,
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit more about the experience of your service. So, when did you go into the service?
I was actually drafted. I was drafted. So
Okay.
I was drafted in 1969. I was in the
19?
last draft we've ever had in the United States. The lottery system came in after that. Buddies that were born just 3-4 days later than I was, they got into the lottery system, and they never went anywhere. But I was drafted in. I went to Fort Ord, did my advanced training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and from there I was shipped to Vietnam.
What was your MO?
It was really interesting the way they word it now, but it was 13 Echo 10, which is I ended up a cannon fire directions specialist. I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, well, I was in a fire direction. But I ended up, from being a gun bunny, hauling the rounds out and tending on the huge, on the 175 and 8-inch guns. And we would fire, we would blow up everything. And most of the time, we would drop rounds in there ahead of our troops coming in, or we would drop rounds in a battle that was taking place.
How did they select? How did you get selected for that? Your MO. I mean, nowadays, you go through all these testings and stuff like that. I mean, they just said, "Hey, Gilbert, this is what you're doing."
Well, we took tests, and I was like every draftee. They asked you, do you like camping? Oh, no, I don't like camping. Do you like being outside? Oh, no, I don't like being outside. I don't like being nowhere. I want to go home. And, it was something you got infantry, you have different MOS. Some guys that volunteered, they wanted to be police. You got guys that went in. I don't know. You took a test just like a college test, right? And how I didn't get into the infantry, I don't know. I ended up in artillery. So we were the guys on the big guns and the small guns. We could either be airborne and they dropped the guns in, or we would track them in like a great, they were great big tracks, and we would actually go in a convoy, set up, and just blow everything to hell for a while and clear the way.
I'm wondering
Cleared
if it
the
was
way.
some type of like psychological testing that
Right.
he's capable of handling that.
Right.
Like you're not going to go crazy or something, the fact that you're the one doing this.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what it is, like same thing they do with, testing with when you go into the police or the FBI, something like that. It had to be. I imagine.
And I believe, and I guess for the years, I actually believe they wanted to know if you were smart enough to do it. Could you handle, because you know what? We see all these laptops and everything now. I can remember the first laptop I've ever saw in my life. It's about that big. Looked like a Pong game. And I thought, what the hell is that? And what it was a modern day computer. We called it a FADEC, a fire direction coordinator. And you would put in all the coordinates, because you'd lay it out on a great big map, right? A topographical map, and you would pinpoint from the guy flying overhead,
which is giving you the direction of where it's going.
And we get the coordinates, and then you put them into a computer, and then we'd figure out, well, this is how far, this is a powder load that's got to go, this is the projectile that we got to put in, here's what we got to use, this is what we're going to do. And then you would call that into the guys on the guns, they'd dial it in, they'd load it up, and boom, and we were firing round after round after round, It was, and you had to be on track, man. You had to be focused.
Yeah.
Because our fire missions sometimes, when you were told you got to be there, somebody's under attack, man, you were hitting it. And you were laying them things out as quick as you possibly could. Call them in. They were putting out rounds, and we had 4 guns, and those guns were just repeating one after another, just going on for maybe an hour, 2 hours, and we just shell places to everywhere.
What was usually what made everybody stop? It's like, all right, well, we're done fighting.
Well, a very interesting thing, usually when they called in the big guns like that, is because we actually had a sighting of, let's say, where I was, it was not the Viet Cong or anything, it was the NBA. We would actually see, hey, we got the NBA in the open. So the minute we knew that, that's when the rounds were called in. We had a guy that would fly up in a bi-wing, and we called him a cat killer. And he would tell you, oh, yeah, here's the coordinates, and he'd call the coordinates in. And when that was happening, you could hear the minute you had a fire mission like that, here come the jets. The jets were going to just clean house. And I can remember the jets coming in, watching the Cobras come in. Oh, man.
Do you still remember, to the sound of those things coming?
Man, I can remember the jets going by, because they're past you. You hear this sound like, oh my God, and they would come. I can remember them bombing. I saw them bombing. I saw the Cobras coming in with, they had, I can't remember, they had this, we called him Puff the Magic Dragon. And it was this, a Gatling gun, really, and they were turbo guns, and they would dive, and they'd just be coming, and they'd hear, and that was the gun shooting, because they would dive, because the propeller would stop, and they were just like a jet, and it's just the most magnificent thing you've ever seen, and we were just in awe. And in a full fire mission, that was something to behold, because you could hear the bombs, you could hear the guys striking. You knew when we had them. Okay, this was it. And I remember the sounds. They're as clear as day.
Smell.
The smell. Oh yeah, you could smell it. It was. You knew you were in a battle. You knew you were in a battle. It was like the one I remember the most of is like the movie. What was that? They made that one movie where they're trapped. Then they're confronting the NBA.
Platoon?
And Platoon. And I can remember that, and this guy's desperately calling for artillery, and then he calls in, he says, hey man, they're right in on us, just go ahead. And I can remember hearing something like that. I can remember getting that kind of a call. Hey, you gotta drop these things in here. They're all over us, because there were some firefights that were pretty tough.
Wow. That's such a. I can't even imagine. What was going through your mind, and was it like you were pumped? Were you scared? What?
When that would happen, where I was at, because I can remember being on the guns, when I was on the gun and I was hauling Joes out there, I was a gun bunny, and powder, it was adrenaline was pumping because we're carrying 100-pound sack of powder, this both hands, and you're just you're just loading it, they're breaching it, turning the gun, boom, there you're back, here you come again. And you had one guy getting the Joes ready, rolling them out, you picking them up, taking them up, loading them. It just, over and over, it was adrenaline. And you're pushing, and hey, man, there's guys out there. They need us. Yeah. And we were at war. They need us, And that was your thought was, you know what? There's somebody just like me out there. And we're going to win this.
You're kind of their protection in a way.
We were the heavy, when they needed us that bad, you knew they were in trouble. And so it got to be, I can remember the first time I was scared to death. I said, oh my God. And after that, it became like second nature. Oh, we got to go. And they would call you and man, you were running. And you were hitting it.
And they sent you on to the location that you were heading to. You had to pack everything, or was everything ready to go?
Sometimes we were the big guns, so we were stationary. We would be up on a hill.
Okay.
For instance, my fire base was Fire Base Bastogne, and Fire Base Bastogne. What would happen is this is something. They would kill all the foliage around it. So we were way up on the hill, and the guns were set there. In position, south, north, east, west. We could go anywhere we wanted and blow out a whole area. And we were on the hill here. The 101st Airborne was up on top, and that's where all the grunts were up there. And the hill was protected by quad 50s. And quad 50s, mortar sections, and small guns. So the 101st Airborne, where I was at, they were more mobile. What we would do sometimes is clear out the area for them so that they could go in the Chinooks and they can drop in the 105s. We would clear the area for them, and they would drop there. They were the guys that were going. They would go with the 105s, and they would be with the infantry. We would be the backup for them. We'd actually clear the area for them. And sometimes we assisted them if somebody was coming.
Golly, what a crazy, crazy, crazy time.
Oh, it was really crazy, really crazy. No, that's me on top of the gun there. That's Corporal Cosby up there. He got two fingers over my head. I was the guy carrying, in our group there, I carried the 60 machine gun. I always love that photo. Look at the size of my arms. Right. I was buff.
Right?
I was buff.
Well, awesome. Well, it's 8:38, so let's take a break, and we'll come back with more stories with Gilbert Rojo. We'll be right back. Back to the Morning Brew, guys. Friday morning. Teresa Branch with me, as always, and you brought your dad.
I brought my dad.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Gilbert Rojo, Vietnam veteran, and recently on Honor Flight.
Honor
Central
Flight.
Coast.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
So Gilbert, and Teresa, jump in here if you want to. Ask questions because, like I said, I can go all day.
I know.
I mean, I really can.
I'm just interested in all the stories. Honestly.
And I'm sure you've heard all these.
Not necessarily. I mean, it was growing up. Obviously, it was a little harder because.
Was he more like
quiet?
Close? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. But I will say my dad did suffer from PTSD a little bit, so that's why. I think I've told this before. There's one time I went upstairs to wake him up, and he just jumped, he was terrified, and I think he was saying he thought there was spiders or something, spiders crawling him. So so but we knew that growing up, so we couldn't exactly just go and shake him or anything because he'd be terrified. So yes, he was very closed up until, gosh, I can't even think what, 2017, 16. He went to a therapist, and she suggested that he write letters to his friends, basically his comrades that that they died. Write letters to them, and that very much helped my dad. It helped him open up. He very much so changed to me on my side as a different person. He was more open. He was more talkative. It was like it
was a therapy.
It was therapy.
Yeah.
And it was just a relief. It was no longer on his shoulders that these men, that these men died, and he wasn't there because he literally walked away from it. Seconds of walking away from it. So I think it was a relief for him, and it very much so opened up my dad. He's more talkative. I guess. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but other than more willing to talk to us about it. I had never heard those stories until I was an adult. So and there's good reason. Very good reason.
Well, they always say, your best therapy is talking, communication.
Exactly.
And I can imagine, with all those years, kind of keeping that in, keeping that sadness in, keeping those emotions in, to finally, put it on paper.
Yeah.
To, write to your comrades.
It was a life changer for me. I've been an advocate for veterans groups. I belong to the Disabled American Veterans, the American Legion, and I actually volunteered just recently. I want to help out with the Honor Flight. I think that was really great. I mean, you get to talk to guys again, and you share something with somebody, and they know. One of my I'll jump a little thing. One of my greatest experiences of this, there was two fellas. We had two guardians. One of them is an officer in the Tascadero. His name is Tim Perkins, and my guardian, his name is Armando Sanchez. He's an police officer in Paso Robles.
Okay, there he is, right there.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And we, they would tell you whatever you do. The 2 nights we were there, the guys would go down for a cocktail to the bar, right? So what his kid? So what do you want to do? Do you drink? I said, well, yeah. So he says, well, let me take care of you, And I said, well, that's great. So we went down there, and they tell you, well, you got to go to sleep because you're going to be up early. So make sure you get to bed. Well, we were sitting there, and here I am with these two fellas, they're young fellas, and they were both combat veterans. Combat veterans and veterans that were not in combat, kind of different breeds in some way. Well, anyway, we're sitting there talking to these guys, and we're talking about everything. talking about engagement, talking about, well, how did it feel, and talking about this. And before you knew it, the lines of what war we were in had disappeared, because it's all the same. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about this, and what has it done to you here? How did you, we talked about PTSD. What form do you have it in? Do you have the regret? Do you feel this? Do you feel that? One of them was a Marine. The other one was Armando. He was an E6. He had his squadrons there. He was there, and you know they were in combat, and it was so. It was just therapeutic. I mean, that was therapy right there. We were talking. Heck, we closed the bar down, man. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and then nobody's there, and we're just talking, and we talked about everything. It was just unbelievable. I mean, that was a great experience for me, and to talk with these young guys, you know. And how did
they probably, feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
It's, just like what we're doing here is we're digging into history that, hopefully will never be repeated.
Right.
But, we're digging into history that only, gentlemen like yourselves has that knowledge.
Yeah.
So since we're jumping right into Honor Flight Central Coast.
Yeah.
So tell me how that came about. So Bear McGill, which is the president of Honor Flight Central Coast. Right there, honorflight.org. It's an organization here. Well, it's actually nationwide.
Right.
But there's different chapters.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the Central Coast version covers, I believe, San Luis Obispo County, Santa Barbara counties, maybe Ventura, and Monterey counties, I believe.
Right. Okay.
I believe it's a big area.
It's pretty big.
And what they do is they provide veterans such as yourself the opportunity to go back, to DC and experience, this history, and kind of go back and in the wall, and I think they go to different military branches,
Right.
and their memorabilia and stuff like that.
Right.
Different memorials.
Memorial. All the memorials of DC. It is a grand experience. Hey, where else are you going to get a trip, all expenses paid, to go to Washington D.C., hit all the monuments? You get this great jacket, a T-shirt, a hat. You get everything. You get overfed, that's for sure. And you have your own flight. You have and they just take care of everything. They assign you a guardian. If you're in a wheelchair, you got a guy who's going to push you around. If you can't walk too far, we got wheelchairs. We get you there. Take care of you from day one till you come back. From the minute you leave to the minute you come back, we're taking care of it. They're asking for veterans, don't stay home and watch Netflix, man. We got something for you, and it's free. And like I was sitting next to a guy that was a colonel, and he had a little bit of trouble getting up and getting out of his thing. And he says, they had to talk me into this. I said, what do you feel about it now? He says, man, I should have been here years ago. And every guy there that you talked to said, I don't know why I didn't sign up. I signed up, and from the beginning, it is just grand. You sign up, and they hit you with your emails. They give you have a couple of meetings. They want to know who you are. You have a meet. We had a meeting down in San Luis Obispo at the American Legion. They bring you in. You show your DD-214, and okay, well, you're this, you're qualified this and this and that. Then after all that's done and you pass that, then you have another meeting. It's another military briefing. We're all laughing with each other, right? Things don't change much, right? And they had this. We were at the Elks Lodge in Santa Maria, and everybody there gets to introduce themselves and talk about who they are and what they did, what branch they were in, and what did you do after the service, right? So at first, nobody wanted to talk. you almost have to strangle a guy to do it. And they finally talked one guy. And then 2 hours later, they couldn't get anybody to shut up. Oh man, everybody was. Well, I was with this Marine. I was this group of Marines. I was here this naval thing and this guy. And a very interesting thing. I'm talking right there, and there's a fellow down the way there, and he says, "You know, I'm a survivor of the last show, the last Bob Hope show, whose headliner was Lola Falana, by the way." and I looked across the way over there. I went over there. I said, "Hey, man, I was at that show in Fubai at Camp Eagle." He says, "Yeah." "Oh, really?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Hey, so where were you at?" I was the fella doing radar. And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm sure you went to my fire base." And he still had his book, his ledger book from the time he was there, and he showed it to me. He brought it to the place. He brought it to the flight just to show me. He says, "Look right here, Fire Base Bastogne. Look at the date on that." I said, "Oh, you got to be kidding!" Wow. And man, it was this great feeling of camaraderie that is just, wow, man, I remember this. And it's everybody got that feeling. And we laughed. He says, "Well, tell me who was a headliner?" And I said, "Oh God, let me think." "Well, Bob Hope." And then he says, "Well, come on." And I said, "Well, I thought it was Charlo." He says, "No." And I said, He says, "Lola." I said, "Lola Falana." And oh man, it was just great. It was just great. And that was the feeling of every bus we were on, and in the end, like a guy said, "Oh man, it's over. We got to go back home." That's how great a feeling it was. Mm-hmm. And hitting the monuments, memorable. The wall, of course, that's a tough one for me. I saw my friends' names, and I can remember. One of the things is I always, whenever I think about them, and it was just like a guy saw me talking to the wall, right? And I said, "Well," he said, "What do you say?" I said, "You know what? As long as I can say your name, you will never be forgotten." And that was something. And it was great. And we hit all the monuments. Every one of them. We had this great experiences. We actually see the changing of the guard. You can see the 21 steps.
Right. Which is a book. Looks like it's signed. Mm-hmm. You got some signatures there. Signed
by the author, and every guard was on duty that day.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. It's for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where they place a wreath. To watch that. The 21 steps is exactly what the guard takes. And the 21 steps signify the 21 gun salute, what they call a 21 gun salute, 7 fellows shooting 3 volleys. He takes exactly 21 steps. I had seen this years ago, and I watched it this time, and when he makes his turns, they used to just click their heels. Now, when he goes to do it, his leg goes out, and he scrapes it on the ground, and then he clicks his heel, right? It's very strange. It's like he flares out, comes in, clicks his heels. You know what that signifies? He's signifying the flaring of the leg and coming back in is a salute to all the fellows that died in Vietnam. Man, whoa. And to watch him do it is incredible.
Wow.
Incredible. And you just, I think we watched the whole performance, and it got to take about a half hour. And I mean, these guys it was just great.
Gosh, Gilbert, I mean, again, the emotional, experience, I'm sure, because you said you've been back there before, but never with a group like this.
Never with a group of guys.
And you would say, does the experience Honor Flight Central Coast provides is top notch, and you really need to be an advocate for them to get your other veterans to participate and be a part of it.
Yeah, from Bear McGill all the way down, it was great. The Guardians, great. Everybody on Bear McGill's staff, great. Taking pictures of you, feeding you candy, feeding you food, making sure you're comfy. Oh man, you are treated like a king. You are treated like you should have been.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow,
that's crazy.
It's something else.
Well, Gilbert, let's. It's 8:55. Let's take another break, and we will be right back. More with Central Coast Honor Flight, Gilbert Rojo.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. We have special guests. We have Gilbert Rojo, Vietnam veteran, and also a recent participant in Honor Flight Central Coast, sharing all the stories. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. Of course, Teresa. I don't want to forget Teresa.
We're good. We're totally good.
we do, but he is the spotlight.
Oh no, he's the spotlight for sure, and he can keep it going, so that's okay.
I'll give you another experience that was there. We went to Fort McHenry. That is where the last battle, naval battle, well, actually, the English, that's where the last battle took place. Before they said, well, we got to leave. We can't do it. It's very, it's something. That's where the Star Spangled Banner was written. The flagpole is still there. And you can actually purchase a flag and have it flown up that mast.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man, that is moving.
And I think they allowed you to do it.
You actually
right?
do it.
The person who
You
bought
put it
the
up that
flag
mast.
got to raise the flag, and I believe my dad got a video of that, of someone doing
Yeah.
it. I
They
think
have
so.
and the guns some of the guns are still in place, and they have the magazines where they had the powder and the big gigantic cannonballs, 18-pounders, and it was really a great story. They
Yeah, right there, huh?
yeah. That's it. That's the room. Those are the big powder kegs, and they the fact that you had the entire naval battery of the English came there, and they were going to bombard that fort, and they started early, and they just kept it on, and you had these guys. They fought. They fired back. One of the things I did not know was that they had such big guns that would do such damage to all the wooden ships that they kept the English at bay. They would not come in because all these guys will sink us if they have a direct hit or any kind of hit because they're doing such damage. So they fought through the night, just exactly as it's written. And wow, to watch that flag go up that flagpole, man, you just, right here. It is emotion, and to walk around there, well, here's where they were, and here's where all these great battles were fought. And it's part of this deal where you really realize, yeah, America, we're pretty damn great. No matter what anyone says, we're the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And when you walk through there and you get through all these monuments, your heart is just, yeah, I know who I am. And this is why we fought. And it's great. We went to every monument. Me and Armando, we were hanging around. I said, oh, man, let's go do something. We walked all the way to the White House, and we went to the White House and the World War I Memorial. Great. Absolutely great. And then it rained, and we got all wet, and we were laughing. You know, I said, do you remember these days, man, when you had your poncho on and you were drowning in the rain, in the monsoon weather? And it was just great. And there was a little guy named Danny Snowden, Air Force fella out of Arroyo Grande. He was a great guy, and we were laughing. And he was getting pushed around in a wheelchair, right? So we would always laugh because we shared a lot of stories from day one at the briefing. I met him, and till the time I left, I said goodbye to him. He's the last guy I said goodbye to, and it was really good. And we would laugh. You know, you got this military thing. He says, well, Gil, he says, you didn't let Armando push you around in a wheelchair. I said, no, man, I don't need a wheelchair. He says, yeah. He says, well, I kind of needed it, but, you know, I got to tell you, man, I'm really beat to death from being in that wheelchair. You know? I said, well, how about the guy pushing you? He says, oh, man, I feel so sorry for him. and it was good, but here we were all getting soaking wet and just laughing, you know, and we got back to the bus a little late because we held everybody up, and we said, well, wait a minute, we're on military time. You said we had to be here at 5:30, and we're here at 5:25, so we got military time left.
Right.
You know, everybody's sitting there and like, because when it started raining, everybody got inside the buses. A lot of fellows got in the bus. They didn't want to. I don't want to be out in the rain. We said, oh man, I don't care about that. Let's go. So we had good times, and the gal, our bus leader, she just shook her head. You guys are troublemakers, and we started laughing, and you know, it was just great. It was just great. And I can't urge people, veterans, you know, hey, come on out, do it. Where else are you going to get a paid vacation? You know?
Well, from what other veterans and Bear, and, you know, we've had veteran services in here as well, there's a big thought process of give it to somebody else. Let somebody else take, you know, the trip, or, you know, give that to somebody else, thinking that they're taken away from somebody else is right, or, you know, ability to go versus them going. But really, it's not that case. It's provided. I mean, you put your service in. You given, you know, your time. You know, I mean, sometimes, I mean, people's lives as well, to where these services and, you know, this experience, that's yours for the taking.
Yes, it is, and everything is all you'll hear the whole time there is they're honoring the vets. You know, you guys fought for our freedom. That's why we have what we have. That's why we can say what we want without, you know, well, we're not going to throw you in prison because you're saying this. Why? Because we fought for that right. Mm-hmm. We're one of the only countries in the world that has that kind of a democracy where, you know what? I have the right to say, I don't think you're right. You know, and you're not going to prison, and they're not going to lock you up. You have the right to stand up and say, no, I don't believe as you believe. And you can tell me whatever you want, because you got the right to. And I have the right to listen or not to listen.
Right.
And it is just so fantastic. And you really feel it when you go through all these monuments. You think, yeah, this guy here, the Korean monument is something where they have the fellows marching, and you just, wow, you know, and you know, and it's just great. And I can't, you know, and then coming home, there was people there waiting for us, man.
Yeah, tell me about that experience. That was, you know what? Actually, let's take one more break because we got a few of them. Yeah. So let's take another break and let's hear about the experience on the welcome home.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back to the Morning Brew.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. We have special guests. We have Gilbert Rojo, Vietnam veteran, and he's telling us all about his recent experience with Honor Flight Central Coast. So you were just getting ready to tell me about your coming home. We heard about, well, I'm sure there was a ton of stuff that we still didn't hear about, but we could be here all day long, which I trust me, I would love to. But we do have to, wrap it up. But we were talking about your coming home. Something that the first time through originally wasn't the experience that you guys received. Tell me about that.
Well, it was, what a contrast. I can remember I did, well, they kind of held us in there, and they're holding us back there, and we're all looking at each other. Man, things don't change. It's always hurry up and wait around here. What are we doing here? Well, we didn't know. I mean, we knew everybody that says, hey, this is what time you're going to be home, tell your wife to come out or somebody to pick you up and everything. We had no idea what was waiting for us. And they kept us in there, and they gave us these certificates of appreciation, right? It tells who you are, your rank, your profile, and everything. And, certificate of appreciation for being on the honor flight. So they held us all in there, and we were in there for a bit, and then the doors open, right? And there's people out there holding flags and cheering. And, oh, man, it was something else. Yeah. And it's just... I come out this door, and we're right up in front. Me and Armando were right up in front, and there was you can see it on KSBY. There's my family there, my wife Sue, and Teresa's family, and I come out of the door, and here's these people cheering like crazy, right? And right next to me is my old buddies out of Templeton here, Larry Mora and Tommy German runs the...
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Oh, man, I gave old Tommy a big old hug. I said, what are you guys doing here, man? He says, hey, we came here to honor you, brother. And I thought, whoa, man, I get all misty, right? And I'm walking, and everybody's cheering and screaming, and your heart is just, wow. And Larry tells me, hey, did you see Susie and your family? And I said, where's my family? Oh, and there they were, man, and it was like, wow. And it was such a contrast.
Which is the reception that you guys should have been given.
Yeah, we weren't
years ago.
We didn't receive heroes' welcomes.
Right.
We received quite the contrary. When we were leaving, Larry Fountain, who had gone with us, he'd ridden down to Santa Maria with us. We couldn't find him. And I mean, we're military guys. Hey, man, we don't leave nobody behind. So everybody's gone, and we're wandering around the parking lot. Where's this guy at? Let's find him. Well, he and his daughter were out looking for us, and we're looking for them, right? And we're having fun. I'm over in one corner giving them an old owl call, hooty hoot, hooty hoot, and trying to get him to look over to us. But we finally got him. And at about that time, KSBY comes around, and the guy says, hey, would you mind doing an interview? And I said, well, yeah, sure. You know, he says, can you talk? And I said, well, yeah, I'm okay. I can articulate a bit. And he said, yeah, the last guy, we tried to interview him. He started crying. And I said, yeah, it's quite emotional. You know, and he talked about it, and I told him, you know, this was a hero's welcome. This is something, you know, we didn't get. I said, I can remember the first time when I got off the plane in LAX, I had someone called me a name, man. And I took off my hat that I was so proud of. I took off my cap and, you know, I put it under my trench coat. And I said, well, maybe nobody will notice, won't say anything. I said, but not this time, man. This time.
How long did it take after that moment, the very first time that you took your hat off, put it, you know, ashamed or you know, scared, whatever the emotion was, did you put that hat back on and say, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I'm proud of?
50 years.
Yeah, I would say I was definitely an adult. I probably had children.
Yeah, 50
First
years.
time I saw him wear a Vietnam hat.
Wow.
50 years.
Wow.
And it all got to a point, and I said, you know what, that's enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. And that's when I sought out the VA, and we addressed PTSD. And it's great. And now boy, sometimes you can't get me to stop talking. I want people to know. You know what? Those fellas there, we were heroes just like everybody else. And like I told a guy, and it was really funny, I said, you know, the first time I came home, I said, you know, we didn't get this. Tonight we got it, man. You could see the guys that were crying. There was tears in their eyes. They were so happy. They were just, man, it was there. It was good, you know. And I told him, man, it's just, wow, it's something else. And I said, you know, it's really great. And I told him, I said, you know, a Vietnam guy, a guy that was in Vietnam, we always hear that. Thank you for your service, you know. I said, every guy I know is like, oh, God, I don't know. Thank you for your service. I was drafted. He says, you know what I like hearing? And for myself, I like hearing welcome home, man. Oh, that is elation. Welcome home. Yeah. And he says, yeah. He says, that's how I feel. I like welcome home. Thank you for my service. He says, I got drafted, dude.
I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I was surviving, but welcome home. Oh, what a feeling. Because that's what we were. I can remember thinking, God, I got to get home. I don't care what. I don't care what. No one. It was like, oh, we were villains? Yeah. How can we be villains? And, you know, and things have evolved where you're in the military, all of a sudden, you know, you're a hero. And why didn't we get that? But that little parade, man, I got to tell you, and to see my family there, I was all teary, man.
Wow.
It was powerful. Yeah. And I can only thank the people from Honor Flag. It was an experience, a great experience. And I was pumped the next morning. My guardian called me up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Mr. Rojo, how are you feeling this morning? Are you doing okay? I want to make sure you have a good breakfast before you go out today. And I thought, oh my God. I said, it's over. I'll tell you what. He was carrying my bags and stuff, you know. I said, hey, man, you don't carry my bag. Oh, no, that's the job. We got to do it. And when we finally got off and we were going through our little parade and everything there, I said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to show you some honor, brother, some respect. I'm going to carry your bags. And that's kind of how we left, man. I thought, I'm going to show you, you're a brother in arms.
You know? And what's really awesome about this is your guardian, I mean, his trip isn't paid. He pays for it. These guardians, they pay for their own way to be a part of your experience.
And some of the associations, I got to give it to them, the Atascadero Police Force and Paso Robles Police Force, they pay for the guardians to go to supply that. That's great. Most of the stuff is all done through fundraising. So it isn't costing taxpayers nothing. It's people that are donating. And that's great. That makes you feel, that really makes it something. It is like, wow.
And that's what Honor Flight Central Coast does as well, is they raise money, which right now they're going through a month-long passport program with the wineries that is giving back, and those funds which they raise for, and they raise funds all year long to provide the all expense paid trips for the veterans.
And they do this twice a year, right? There's honors flights twice a year, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Yes, because Larry Mora and Tommy German had just gone this past fall. And when they came up to us at the airport, they're like, we had to be there for him. So I myself was very emotional. Gosh, I can't do it. I myself was very emotional that these men who, you know, I mean, Tommy German has had health issues, and Larry Moore and walking with a cane, and these gentlemen just showed up for my dad. I mean, my dad didn't even know I was coming or my kids were coming. I believe he knew my stepmom was going to be there, but he didn't know I was coming, and it was emotional for me. I was making signs for him, and I was crying at home, you know, just thinking like, my dad didn't get this, and here I am as an adult welcoming my dad home. It's just...
Teresa, you're making me get all misty.
It was emotional, but then I saw my dad. I saw him coming. I was like, there he is. And I yelled, Dad! And his face, he just lit up. Like, oh my gosh, my family, you know, like he just lit up. I've never seen his smile so big. Like, it was ear to ear. It was amazing. And all the veterans, you could just, after he passed us and, you know, went on to the baggage claim area where they were meeting, I kept filming, and I filmed for about 4 minutes straight, and you could just see the veterans, their faces were just like, oh my goodness, like this is what I've always wanted, you know, to be welcome home. And that's all people were saying is welcome home, welcome home, welcome home.
Yeah.
And then I was watching too, because across from me, there's this little lady in her walker, and she kept going up to so many of the veterans. She would walk to them as they were passing, this little lady, and she would get close to their ear, and I don't know what she was saying to them, but you could just see the veteran's face, like, so grateful for whatever she may have said. I don't know what she was saying, but it was very emotional to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
man, golly.
I know.
That is just, I mean, if that doesn't pull on your heartstrings,
right?
it's you don't got anything inside. But
Yeah.
it was, that was, you know what, Gil, I want to say again, you know, we thank you for your service as well as welcome home.
Yeah.
Because gentlemen like yourself and your comrades and the veterans of this great nation that we live in, you know, we wouldn't live under the umbrella that we live under if it wasn't for, you know, your guys' sacrifice. So thank you.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right. Well, it's 9:18 and we got to take another break. So we'll be right back to the Morning Brew.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. We are finishing up and wrapping up our special episode with Gilbert Rojo, Vietnam veteran and recent participant and of Honor Flight Central Coast. So we appreciate you coming on, and looks like you got a whole sack full of swag.
I got all the goodies. Give you this nice little bag here, this certificate, two T-shirts, right, and this fabulous jacket. Yeah, and it's rainproof. We tried it out.
Yeah.
Great jacket, pins. I cannot urge you brothers out there, you know what? Drop the channel changer. Get on there and contact honorflight.com and get out there.
That'll work.
And get on the roll. Register for it. Get out there and do it. You deserve it. Don't hold back.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
And the experience that you experienced, did you expect that, or did you underestimate that?
I got to tell you, I went with no expectations. I thought, what can this be? And I was elated. I cannot talk. I can't, there's not enough words to tell you the emotions that went through me. And yesterday morning, come back, man, I was still floating high. My blood pressure was through the roof because I was so pumped up. I went down to VA, and they told me, "What's up with you, man?" I said, "Oh man, you have no idea." He says, "You're really pumped. You're just like," I was basically, I was elated, and the emotions were there. I was processing this. I was processing, the raising of the flag. Hearing about how the Star Spangled Banner, the battles, going through all these monuments to our fellow veterans, going to Annapolis, watching the plebes, the guys that are, these are our future officers, and the Marines and the Navy. God, you know how great, what a great country this is. You
Amen.
Got the feeling. Oh my God, this is what it's all about. They're always, you hear, make America great. No, I got news for you, brother. We've always been great, and we're going to stay that way, and we will do it
because of men and women like yourself.
We believe it, and listen, we took an oath, and man, I got to tell you, man, I thought. Yeah, but you're right. I took an oath. I took an oath to preserve this country and the Constitution of this country. And it just, you got it, man. It just hits you like, whoa. And on this honor flight, you know what it is, man. It was, what an experience.
Awesome.
What an experience. I commend the people, Bear McGill, his staff. I'm going to do everything I can to get guys to sign up. Hey, man, this is an experience you cannot pass up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely great.
Well, we're going to definitely have you back on, and sharing some more of your experiences. We have Memorial Day coming up. We have Veterans Day coming up in November, right? Mm-hmm. So, every month, every day should be Veterans Day.
And actually, I just discovered that March 29th in 2017, it became Vietnam Veterans Day.
Yeah.
I did not know that, and I looked it up. Thinking like maybe there should be a day for these men, and and I looked it up. So in 2017, they claimed March 29th as Vietnam War Veterans Day.
Awesome.
So.
Well, Gilbert, again, welcome home. I appreciate the story. I love the stories. Teresa, we didn't get to talk much today, but that's what it's all about. Like I said, I can do this every Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
So appreciate you.
Of course.
Appreciate Airflow Filter Services, and being a part of this journey and experience with us on Fridays.
Yeah,
and
of course.
So have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Gilbert, again, welcome home. Appreciate your stories, and I'm sure Bear McGill at Honor Flight Central Coast is appreciative and honored for you to come in here and share that experience with us, and hopefully to entice other veterans to take that
Yes.
experience as well.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in to What's Up North County Morning Brew, the special edition. Guys, if you haven't and you don't know, honorflight.org. Okay, Honor Flight Central Coast is a great, great local organization led by our local Bear McGill, and be a part of it. Intrigue and get your veterans, families, friends to take part in this monumental experience that they take these veterans on a couple times a year. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, Santo Brothers Plumbing, North County Junk Removal, Hanson Enterprises, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Suprema Meat Market, Remax, Ron Mullins, Paso Robles, MGP Coatings, Kennedy Club Fitness, and of course, Airflow Filter Services. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
And Deanna.
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
Hi, Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations, Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.